An old phrase said that if a government wants less of something, they should tax it. Most of us are disgusted with the landfill eyesore that we have. Will you tax it and use the money to lower the county levy?
Prom season is coming fast, and Inspire Couture in Glenwood has the dress that feels like you. From sleek and modern to bold and unforgettable, every gown is handpicked to help you shine. Find your perfect fit, feel confident, and make prom night one to remember. Only at Inspire Couture.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2026 Mills County Republican Convention Candidate Forum. My name is Paul Sealing. I was recently elected as chair of the Mills County Republicans. I'll be your moderator for today's event. We have a great lineup of candidates today, and we'll be holding this event to allow Mills County residents to get to know our candidates and their position on issues that affect us all. I've asked Gary here to open us with a word of prayer and invocation, and then I will lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd all stand, please.
Okay, would you bow with me? Father God, we just thank you for this place that we can come to in a free country. There are folks who are literally dying to get into America and enjoy the benefits that we have. We're grateful for our Judeo-Christian way of life, and we pray that as we go about this grassroots effort, actually beyond grassroots, that people would indeed open their minds, open their hearts. I know folks are here to vet candidates, and that's the idea, to find out what the candidates are all about. I pray you'd be with us as we proceed in this grand venture. Thank you for our country, and God bless America.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit about the structure of today's event so that everybody knows exactly how things will proceed, so the candidates know as well. What we're first going to have is one 3-minute speech from a non-supervisor candidate. Lori Murphy is running for our county recorder position, and so she is going to speak. She's running non-contested, so she has 3 minutes. After Lori is complete, we'll start the supervisor candidate forum. We have 3 candidates today. Each candidate will have 4 minutes to give an opening statement about themselves or whatever they wish to say to you. After that, questions will be asked on a rotating basis. So we'll just go in alphabetical order to start. So one question for each person. If a candidate wants to address what was asked in the previous question, they can, but we're not going to ask the same question of all 3 candidates. Okay, so hopefully we'll get a good mix of several questions that have been asked on specific subjects from several people of you out in our community. Okay. They'll have 2 minutes to answer those questions, okay? We expect 100% decorum and whatnot, but if there is any personal attacks or things like that, then the person that was addressed will have a minute to go and make a rebuttal. Again, we're hoping and not expecting that, okay? At the end of the question time frame, we're going to have about 9 minutes, well, about 10 minutes before the end of the forum. We'll stop with the questions, and then each of the candidates will have 3 minutes for a closing comment, and then we will be completed, okay? For timekeeping, Gary here is our timekeeper, so candidates, he's got 3 sheets of paper, green, yellow, and red. So the green will be held up probably pretty much in front of him like this, so you can look over and you are free to continue. Yellow means that you've got 30 seconds left, and red means that your time is up, okay? And if needed, we'll basically interrupt and say, hey, time is up at this point, okay? So with that, I'd like to introduce our candidates. We have three. We've got Pete Benker. Did I pronounce that right, Pete? Yes. All right, Pete, come on up here. And we have got Dave Farmer. Come on up. And Sandy Winton. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead and sit. Go ahead and sit up there. And then I'm sorry. We're going to have Lori first. Okay. Lori, come on up. Go ahead and have a seat, folks. Now stand by. I'll give you this so they can see. Okay, Lori Murphy.
As Paul said, I'm running unopposed, so I wanted to just take this time to explain the services that we offer and a little bit about the financial part of our office. I've been the recorder
to your mouth. And thank you.
I've been the recorder for just about a year, but I've worked in the office for about almost 11 months. I have 2 full-time people that help me. The services that we offer, the bulk of it is we do recording of deeds, land contracts, mortgages, legal documents. We also do vital records. We issue birth, death, and marriage. And people apply to get married in our office. Then there's the DNR services that we have. We register ATVs, boats, and we also sell hunting and fishing. So some things that people probably don't realize that I'd really like to share with you about the financial part is that most of the money that we take from doing our services goes directly back to the state. For instance, when we do a marriage application, it takes approximately 1 to 1.5 hours. We print off several pieces of paper. We mail the certificate back to them. It costs the couple $35, and the county only keeps $4 of that. When we do ATV, if someone comes to renew their ATV, it costs $18.50. The state gets $15 of that. And then right now is the turkey hunting season. We sell hunting. So if we would sell a turkey tag for $28.50, we get 50 cents of that. So that is something that the Board of Supervisors has no control over. That is legislative, and it's been that way. So just wanted to let you know that the services we offer, a lot of that money does not stay with the county. So I think if anybody ever wants to come and ask questions, we help a lot of people with genealogy, finding their deed to the property. We record surveys. Oh, yes, we record military discharges so that veterans can have exemptions on the property. I think that covers pretty much what we do, and I just appreciate all of you being here. This is a great crowd, and I look forward to listening to what they have to say, because I rely heavily on board of supervisors for advice, and also they tell me what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, just before we get started with the questions and the opening comments, just want everybody to be aware, most of you, if not all of you, have gotten an index card. Anybody that doesn't have an index card but would like one, they are at the back table. And these are for recording a question that you would like to ask. We are going to be able to take questions. I'm hoping we will have time to address those as well. We're trying to arrange this in groups of interest. In other words, specific subjects, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you have a question, please write it on that card and take it back to the table. What they have is a list of the questions that I have, and they're going to see is, oh, that's the same question that Paul is already going to ask. So, Sharon.
If they raise their hand, I'll come get their card.
Okay, if you raise your hand, Sharon will pick up your card when you have one, okay? All right, with that, let us begin with opening comments from each of our candidates. And first up is Pete. You can sit right at the table if you want. You got your microphone right there.
Oh, sounds good.
Good morning to everybody. My name is Pete Banker, and I'm running for Mills County Supervisor because I genuinely care about this community and the direction it's headed in. Running.
You have to hold it really close.
Sorry, my name is Pete Banker, and I'm running for Mills County Supervisor because I genuinely care about this community and the direction it's headed in. Running for public office is new to me, so this is pretty tough. Sitting in front of all you guys. I'm just a regular guy who fell in love with a Mills County girl. I moved to Glenwood 20 years ago, and this is where I've chose to raise my family, my kids. We go to Church of Holy Rosary, and I've enjoyed meeting so many people in the community. For the past 20 years, I've worked at Union Pacific Railroad and currently serve as a train dispatcher. Every day, I manage real-time operations in high-pressure, time-critical environments. My job demands safety, efficiency, clear communication, and accountability. Exactly the skills that we need on the Board of Supervisors. We all know the challenges facing Mills County. Property taxes are squeezing families, farmers, and retirees harder every year. Our taxes have grown faster than inflation and population growth, and people deserve better value for their hard-earned dollars. Reliable EMS, maintained rural roads, and solid infrastructure aren't optional. They're core services, and smart growth matters. We must plan responsibly so new development doesn't stick current taxpayers with the bill later. Here's the hard truth about county budget. Roughly 60% of it goes to wages and benefits. That means real tax relief won't come from just trimming minor waste alone. We need honest conversations about staffing levels, overtime, prioritizing essential services while still meeting the state mandates and protecting what matters most. As your county supervisor, my priorities are focused. First, lower property taxes through real fiscal discipline. Every dollar spent must be justified to the taxpayers who pay the bills. Second, transparent county government. It's more than just posting documents online. It means explaining decisions clearly, making budgets understandable, and being clear about what the county actually controls versus what the state law requires. Third, focus on core services, roads and infrastructure, law enforcement, fire protection, and reliable EMS before any non-essential spending. I believe the Board of Supervisors should work with the people, not above them. We control the checkbook, but real leadership means listening to the taxpayers who fund this county. If you're ready for practical, common sense, conservative approach, one that respects hardworking families, supports our veterans, strengthens essential services and plans responsibly for the future, I would greatly appreciate your support in the June primary. Together, let's keep Mills County strong, affordable, and prosperous for the next generation. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Pete. Dave Farmer's up next. Sure.
I'm Dave Farmer,
Oh.
candidate for Mills County Supervisor. I'm not gonna give a big long speech because I'm nervous to say it, but.
I feel you, Dave.
I'm a 50-year resident of Mills County. I graduated in 1979, Mission Valley High School. I really love the small communities in Mills County. And I understand that the Board of Supervisors controls the purse strings for the county. And we do need oversight, transparency, and accountability. I think I would say that we need to start with zero-sum budgets and explain all the spending in each department. Mostly because I'm new and I need to learn some things, and as well as everybody else in the county. I'd like to see more transparency so people in the county understand where their money's going. A lot of it goes to the schools. 50% of your tax levy goes to the schools, which, you know, we got great schools, but you know, is that all necessary? And I would just like to say, I'd like to have your vote for Mills County Supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Now Sandy Winton.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Sandy Winton, and I'm running for Mills County Supervisor because this county deserves leadership that is practical, transparent, and never forgets that decisions impact household budgets. My connection to Mills County began in 2003 when my husband Tony and I was stationed at Offutt Air Force Base. We first lived in Malvern, right here on Marion Avenue, and in 2005 we moved to an acreage, an acreage outside of Glenwood. We have 5 children, 20 grandchildren, and a very spoiled mini golden doodle named Megan. And over the years, this county has become home and a place for our family to gather. I grew up in a hardworking family. My dad was an over-the-road truck driver, a deputy sheriff, and a farmer. My mom raised 5 kids and kept a garden big enough to feed us all. We learned hard work, to be good citizens, and to never give up. Those values shaped how I approach every responsibility I take on. Professionally, I've managed people, budgets, and complex operations. As the director of marketing for the 509th Services Squadron at Whiteman Air Force Base, I oversaw staff, payroll, daily operations, and answered to wing commanders. In real estate, I financially managed a nearly $14 million project and wrote and financially managed a $1 million grant-funded project. Those roles required accountability, organization, and the ability to make decisions based on fact and long-term impact. For more than 20 years, I've also been involved in community efforts across Mills County, long-range planning, economic development, volunteer projects, holiday events, and local boards. I've spent a lot of time listening to residents, working with different groups, and seeing firsthand what people expect from their county government. I believe in community-driven leadership. Decisions should start with the people who live here, not behind closed doors, not after the fact, and not without public input. When residents are part of the process, we get better outcomes and stronger trust. Transparency and consistent communication is a requirement and not optional. I also believe in focusing on needs over wants. We have to get back to the basics of what county government is supposed to be for. The core responsibilities such as essential services, safety, infrastructure, and long-term planning before anything else. Being a good steward of taxpayer money, every dollar the county spends comes from a household budget. And those budgets are already stretched by rising costs. County government should never make decisions that ignore financial realities that families and seniors face every day. My priority is to protect household budgets by asking tough questions, evaluating the true cost of every proposal, and making sure spending stays focused on what is necessary, not what is convenient or nice to have. Mills County residents deserve leadership that respects the money they earn and the sacrifices they make. If elected, I will bring the same work ethic I was raised with and the same commitment I've shown throughout my time here. I will listen first, communicate clearly, and make decisions based on what is best for the residents of Mills County. I'm not running to make big promises. I'm running to do the work, to be transparent, to keep you informed, to ensure decisions are made in the open, and to make sure county government stays focused on serving the people who pay for it. I spent more than 20 years working, serving, and staying involved in this county, and I'm ready to hit the ground running because as taxpayers, we're just done, and we have no more time to waste. Thank you, and I look forward to the discussion today.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, our first subject for today is going to be about the landfill. We have 4 questions so far on this one, and I will ask the first one of Pete. What is your stance on revenue not currently being collected from the landfill that could be used to reduce taxes?
So we're extremely limited on the revenue from the landfill because it's a DNR, it's actually DNR oversight. It's an infrastructure and we can't just remove the landfill. So we can try and do, we can only apply fees to the landfill that are equitable to what it's actually costing the county. So that's something we can look at, but as far as gaining massive amounts of revenue, we're gonna have to get really creative, and I'm not sure what that would look like yet.
Okay, thank you. For Dave, what is your plan to get more tax revenue from the landfill, quarries, and solar farms? Plus, will you use that revenue to lower the county tax levy?
Well, I'd like to see some sort of a road use tax because of the trucks that are damaging our infrastructure. Not sure what that would look like, and if that's possible. Like I said, I've got a lot to learn about what we can do as Board of Supervisors to create revenue. But I'd like to look at all the options that are available to us for the extra use of the roads and the issues of the landfill.
Okay, thank you very much. For Sandy, an old phrase said that if a government wants less of something, they should tax it. Most of us are disgusted with the landfill eyesore that we have. Will you tax it and use the money to lower the county levy?
So the landfill is here. We have to figure out how to work best for a win-win solution for both of them, the county, taxpayers, everybody who travels that road. Legally, if we can tax them, if we can get more money to support the roads that they constantly tear up and the people who need to go out and clean the sides, then absolutely we need to tax them. We need to also work with them and negotiate with them to possibly use the methane that they're burning freely to bring in more income into our county. They're not paying, in my opinion only, they are not paying what they should be for the amount of money that they are bringing in and are assessed at and should be assessed at. So if there's a way we can work with them to make it a win-win for everybody, we need to absolutely do that. And it's going to take a lot of strong negotiations between the county and them. Gonna say one more thing, it'll right on out of my head.
All set? Okay, thank you, Sandy. One more question on the landfill. This is for Pete. Would you support making the landfill reclaim the land already used by having them plant native grasses and trees on it?
Yeah, that's absolutely something that's easy to support. I mean, we want to keep the dust down. That's probably the best advantage to trying to plant something on there. And I'd add that the landfill, you can't just add taxes. It has to be equitable fees to what's actually costing the county. So we can actually do that, but it has to be something that's equitable to what's costing the county. For road damage or trash or cleanup, it has to be something that's tangible and something that we can actually show.
Okay, thank you very much, Pete. All right, that concludes the landfill questions. Now we get on to the one that is most popular. I've got 10 questions now and they keep coming in. And this is on taxes, okay? Cutting county taxes and lowering, cutting spending and lowering taxes. Number one question for Dave. How are we going to reduce property taxes while maintaining current services?
That's the million-dollar question. I mean, people have come to expect the services we have. I see as one of the only ways that this is going to happen is if we can keep the same services, we may have to cut wages in the county and or positions. The salaries of all the departments need to be looked at very carefully, and the benefits that these positions get. I think that we're gonna have to start there, and I would actually like to improve the infrastructure in the county and bring in new businesses to create more revenue. And also, maybe a local option sales tax or something, rather than a property tax seems to be the first thing, the easiest thing to get revenue from for the county. I would like to see other ways to create revenue than just property taxes.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Got some water coming here. Our candidates. Okay, for Sandy, what plans do you have to cut county spending?
So to be able to cut county spending, I don't want to just go in with a knife and start slicing. That's very inefficient. It's inappropriate and it's not fair to all the departments, the county or the taxpayers. So what my plan is to do, and I've already talked to one department head and I'm in contact with another to hopefully talk to them next week. I want to spend some time with each of the department heads, learning what is helping them, what is working for them, what's not working for them, seeing where there's some inefficiencies to see if there's some technology updates that could streamline things, make things cheaper for that specific department to run. But that takes a few minutes to go into each department and learn them, to learn what makes their department tick. So Once I do that, it has to be quick because by the time the election comes along in June and then the generals in November, and then by the time we get actually in office, then it's time to be working on the budgets for next year, which is like right now, they're just now finalizing the budgets in April. So it has to be an ongoing thing. So once we get past the June primary, my plan is to go ahead and start working on that before the general so that I can be through all the departments and know when I go into the budget workshops, I can actually know what is important, what works, what doesn't work. And most importantly, I can see if there's value in the number of people that's in that department, the processes, the systems that is being used. And I can actually work on the budget with some education and knowledge.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Next question is for Pete. Do you support a Citizens Budget Advisory Committee?
You know, I think it's good to have committees are good, but sometimes it can be too much. I support it, but how much role it's gonna play with supervisors, I think sometimes you can have too many voices directly influencing what we're doing. I mean, our best, so we're all collectively a committee, right? We can all get out, I can get out here and I can talk to people all the time. And I've been out door knocking, talking to folks, and I can get your guys' opinion. I don't think we need a committee on its own. I think it could be helpful, but too much bureaucracy isn't always the best answer.
Okay, thanks, Pete. Next question for Dave. It has been said that Iowa's property tax is one of the 10 highest in the nation. What do you propose to do about the county levy on our property taxes?
One of the first things that I have to do is really learn what is possible to do as a board of supervisors member as far as property taxes. A lot of it's controlled from the state. Whatever can be done locally, I would definitely work with the other supervisors to immediately start trying to figure out ways to lower property taxes in Mills County, because I see mine keep going up, 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 up.
Okay, thank you. Next question is for Sandy. We know Mills County lacks industry. What is your vision for our county to develop industry and help spur economic development to ease the property tax burden on our residents?
First of all, we need to realize that, you know, the old saying, the more money you make, the more you spend. So we have to get our spending under control as a foundation. And we also have to work with the state and the federal, with the U.S. Army Corps on our levies. We have had so many companies come in wanting to move in across from Loves and BP. And they're afraid to because of the levee situation, because of the flooding. Until we can get our levies certified, and which is millions and millions and millions and more millions on top of that to do the certification for the levy, it's going to be hard to attract industry and business to that part of the corridor. Now, it is possible to move down the Highway 34 corridor. I know Malvern is moving north, out north of 315th Street, and they're wanting to put in more business. There's a Western Iowa Network business going in there. So that is a potential area as well. But we also have to respect landowner rights, and we have to respect our farmland, and we have to make sure that our farmers and our farmland is being protected as well. So we have to be very careful about where we're bringing the industry and the commercial in, and make sure that it's better to build where there's already infrastructure there, so because it's just a lot cheaper if you bring in a commercial or industry where there's already infrastructure. But we definitely need some to help offset, but we just got to make sure our county is good stewards of the money in the first place, so we don't spend more because we're making more.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. For Pete, what is your position on tax increment financing? And I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. I'm just reading this question. So are you familiar with that term?
So tax increment financing is an important tool to develop our community. That's how we start new residential areas, how we get businesses to come in here. So I think it's something that we have to do if we intend to try and grow.
Okay, thank you very much, Pete. Okay, for Dave. What would you specifically do differently in the budget? Not general, quote unquote, cut costs, but provide a line item you would cut or consider cutting.
Well, specifically, I would like to start each department with zero budget. Uh, Spend what you can, put everything in front of the board, other than obviously your consumables, but any spending outside of consumables for the department, I think they should be in front of the board, and maybe they already are. I've got to learn a lot, but, as far as specifics, items that need to be cut, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what the board can cut. But I'm ready to learn.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. For Sandy. I currently chair Tourism Committee, which sits under the Mills County Chamber. In 2023, hotel motel tax was passed with language that 50% of the funding would go to tourism. What do you know about this funding stream and how would you work with tourism?
So communities with a large amount of tourism brings in money. People come in, they spend money at not only the locations like, the gas stations and the grocery stores, but they stop at all the different shops and everything that we have. So tourism is extremely important. The more we can build up tourism to Mills County, the more, money we will be having spent right here on our main streets. And I do remember that bill being passed and the money, it came about because tourism did not have a whole lot of money to spend. And most of the communities in other cities and towns have a lodging tax. And so the voters passed that, lodging tax. And so the money, the 50% should be going to tourism to be able to help them in one aspect or another, whether that's, signage or pamphlets or bringing, groups in to tour the main streets that we have. So tourism is very important. It gives us a lot of extra money that we wouldn't normally have.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. For Pete. Current budget proposal is still $500,000 more than this year's projected and $2 million more than most recent final for 2025. Also, it is not balanced and calls for 1.5 million more expenditures than anticipated receipts. How do we justify this when we need to control costs? What are your plans?
So we've got to stop spending growth. I can't justify that. I'm not familiar with those numbers, but I know we've got to get the situation under control. I think we can tailor this back and start moving forward by just stopping growth, or at least keeping it to 1% a year. And we can't keep seeing the 5% growth in spending that we've been seeing over the past few years. I don't have a lot of information on that topic right now.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Okay, last question for this issue of taxation. And this one is for Dave. Will you publicly commit to not raising the county budget anymore? And then there is the the rate of inflation. So I think what this is saying is don't raise it, but more than the rate of inflation.
I think I can probably stand behind that. But we definitely don't need more taxation on the people.
Okay, thank you, David. All right, we are now going to a different subject, and this is supervisor compensation. So for Sandy, do you favor a 5-member county supervisory board with the same budget we have for 3 supervisors?
3 versus 5, so you have pros and you have cons. You have 3 supervisors who run a whole county of 15,000 plus people. If one's gone on vacation or sick, you have 2 people making all the decisions. All the city, the school, everybody has a 5-person board. I can definitely see the pros to that. The cons would be the extra money. So, I personally support and have for many years now supported a 5-person board. It's gonna come down to it going on the ballot and the people voting. So it's actually gonna be up to all of you, not me. So I support a 5-member board. I see the validity in having a 5-member board. As far as the compensation, if we take the 5-member board and take what, I don't know what they, 44 something or 40,000 something each, add it together, divide it by 5, perfectly fine with me. I'm not running to be a supervisor for the money for the second job or for the insurance or anything like that. I'm running to do good for the Mills County. So if that's what the voters choose to do, that's just fine with me.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. For Pete, one more question on supervisor compensation. Is county supervisor compensation too high?
Is county supervisor compensation too? I mean, I don't know what the job. That's a tough question, isn't it? I don't really care about the pay. I'd like to see it split up 3 ways. Let's put 5 people on the board, or 5 ways, I'm sorry. Put 5 people on the board and get better representation across the county. I think there's a huge appetite for that. I talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people have voiced concerns about not having representation on the east side of the county. They feel like all the representation comes from Glenwood, and I'd be all for that. I want to see people represented the way they want to.
Okay, thank you, Pete. All right, new subject here is government transparency. We have so far 5 on this one. Number 1 for Dave. How do you propose to get more community involvement in county government?
It probably has to start with awareness, trying to get people, aware of what's going on, what meetings are going on, what meetings they can attend, and getting them out. It's kind of like, trying to get people out to the polls. Very small percentage of people actually go to the polls on an off-year election, as they call it, local elections. And, if that don't, increase, we're no longer gonna be we the people. People definitely need to get involved and look at all different kinds of ways to, bring attention to the residents to get involved in the meetings.
Okay, thank you, Dave. For Sandy, would you consider roving Board of Supervisor forums monthly in different parts of the community, including reports from department heads?
Absolutely. I think that's the best ground roots effort you can have. I've just completed will be having my 3rd Vision or Voices of Mills County listening session roundtables. And I've said in the past that I thought it would be great, like what we just did this morning, the legislative coffee. I think it'd be great to have supervisor coffees. And once a month, once a quarter, whatever it is that the people seem to want and what works best. And moving around our county would be the best way to represent them and to show that we are actually there for them and that we care about what they want and what they have to say. So 100%, I cannot wait to implement something like that.
Thank you, Sandy. For Pete, how will you show transparency to the public?
We've got to make it a constant conversation. I think we got to talk about the issues. We can use Facebook. Facebook's a great tool. Let's post things, talk about it, and be accessible. I think that's the best way to have transparency is to be accessible. And I'll be out there for you guys.
Okay, thank you, Pete. For Dave, how can the county master plan be viewed?
Be viewed by the people.
I'm assuming so, yes. Yeah, for transparency. So basically, how can they take a look at the master plan?
geez, attending board meetings, and posted it all on the county website, trying to encourage people to visit the website. There again, it's participation, and we do need to be creative to, increase, oh, participation. Uh, we really do need to get more people looking at how the county operates and what the supervisors do.
Okay, thank you very much, David. Okay, one more question under county transparency. What is your plan to prioritize road improvement by hard surfacing more county roads? Is there a priority list that can be published?
I would look at, so Mills County has almost 700 miles complete. I think there's like 250 farm to market roads, 440 other county roads. And so I would look at traffic count, bus safety, road safety. I would look at all the data and the facts that surround all the road information and to make sure which ones need to be prioritized as far as road maintenance and paving. Paving is extremely expensive. I believe last time I heard it was well over $1 million a mile. And so $1 million, divided by 15,000 of us in the county is a little bit of chunk of change there, but I would definitely look at all the data, like I said, the traffic count, the bus routes, farm to market road, and make sure those are prioritized, and then work on long-term planning with the county engineer and make sure we have all the road maintenance built into like a 5 or 6, 10-year plan to make sure that everything is accounted for, and road and bridges, that's like one of the second most important topic to people here in Mills County. So we have to make sure our roads and our bridges are good and they're safe and people can get to church, get to school activities, and get to work.
Okay, thank you, Sandy.
We have a green Bronco that the alarm's going off on.
There's a green Bronco with the alarm going off outside in the parking lot. Green Bronco. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, that concludes our section on government transparency. We'll move along to 2 questions so far from about county zoning and renewable energy. So let's see, this would be for Pete. If the county is zoned legally, why is there a solar farm in eastern Mills County in an agricultural only zone area?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that zoning or the process to get that solar farm over there, to be honest. I know that it's gonna generate, I guess where exactly are we talking about?
Just know it's in eastern Mills County. That's all.
So eastern Mills County between Highway 34 and Highway 370 east of I-29, I think they're gonna have 6,500 acres of solar farms. Actually, I was door knocking to a gentleman and he asked me how I felt about solar farms on farm property, and I think it's a fine line we gotta walk. It can generate more income for the county, which is great, but the other thing is we don't wanna give up great farmland all the time for these solar panels. So we gotta be super cautious about how we're allowing this stuff to happen in our county so we can protect our identity for the future.
Okay, thank you very much, Pete. For Dave, where do you stand on renewable energy and eminent domain?
Eminent domain for private industry, I am absolutely against it. And the same with the renewable energy, and if I can't touch base on that solar farm a little bit, I believe that's residential, and at some point, that would have had to been okayed by the board, I would assume. Because that area on 34 is, according to the map I look at, is agricultural. If the solar and everything was so great, I would think Mid-American Energy would have some, solar farms on all the empty ground around them. And possibly maybe we need to look at putting all these solar farms on the clover leaves on the interstate, property that we wouldn't have to mow anymore. And if it's quote, good, clean energy, how come we're not doing that?
Okay, thank you, Dave. All right, next topic is Mills County Public Health. Have one question on that, and it goes to Sandy. What is the status of Mills County Public Health?
So I believe they have a 28E with Fremont County, and so we're sharing, Caitlin, I believe is her name. And from what I hear, she's doing a heck of a good job. They've been able to combine services and take care of the residents of Mills County and continue to go in the homes and provide home health care. And so it's very important, and I think they're doing a great job from what I hear.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. We've got one more category and then final comments. This is one question. It's very general. I think it's a good one, so we'll let all three candidates answer this one. Start off with Pete. Small town feel is the category. We moved here because we wanted a small town setting. Everyone is talking about growth and industry. How do we keep the small town feel or setting? Pete, you're first.
And so that's gonna start with our people, and I think that's our culture. That's why I moved here. I love the small town feel. I love the small town feel. That's why I moved here. And I think we don't have to lose our identity because it's protected with the people we've got here. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about that other than that's us. That's why we're here.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Dave?
Well, I kind of agree with Pete that the small town identity is the people, not necessarily the what's in the neighborhood.
Okay, Sandy?
I think first we need to start with, I'm really big on community led leadership. And I think it starts with a bunch of us, like what we're in this room right now, getting together, discussing what we want, making sure that our planning and land use maps are being adhered to, and making sure that we are coming together as a community for the events, volunteering for the events and for the different organizations and the committees. Because when voices come together, you get a lot more good ideas. You get people working for the same cause. If you have random people out running around doing their own thing, you don't get a cohesiveness. And when you bring voices together and you do roundtables and you bring the community together, you can work toward a good common cause for the good of all of the county.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, just one quick question back to our screening table. Do we have all the questions? We've brought them all up? Okay, great. That concludes the questions that we have. We'll enter the last segment, which will be final comments from each of our candidates, and we'll start with Pete.
Serving Mills County and beyond, Ruby Realty is your trusted team for residential and commercial real estate, plus full-service property management, local experts, honest guidance, and a commitment to getting you results. Ruby Realty, rooted here and working for you.
3 minutes.
So I didn't have a closing comment. I didn't come prepared with that one, but I'm super excited to be here. You guys have probably seen me on your Ring cameras, door knocking. I've spent some time in people's living rooms, and everybody's house that I stop at, I'll give you as much time as you want. I've enjoyed meeting tons of people, and I think I got a lot to offer. I come from a dynamic company. I've been there 20 years, and we started with an operating ratio of 85 cents on every dollar is what it cost us to earn a dollar. And we've dropped that to 55 cents on every dollar. And I think we can always squeeze the orange a little bit. I think we can always do better. I'd be excited to be a part of Mills County Supervisors Board and actually try and make an impact and maybe squeezing orange with everybody.
Okay, thank you very much, Pete. Dave, final comments.
Well, I'd like to say that my background a little bit, I've managed large budgets, oversee major projects in the packing house industry. I work for a meat machinery company, global. I currently manage the service for the U.S. Automation Division. I've managed a couple slaughterhouses, and budgets are a big thing, and getting under cost is very important. And I feel I have the experience to lead the county forward with spending. That seems to be the biggest issue, is spending.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Sandy, 3 minutes, final comments.
So what you've heard from me today really comes down to something simple: respect. Respect for the people of Knowles County, respect for your tax dollars, and respect for the responsibility that comes with this position. County government shouldn't be complicated. At its core, it's about doing the basics well: maintaining our roads and infrastructure, ensuring public safety, planning responsibly for the future, and managing your money with care. When we stay focused on these responsibilities, things work out the way they should. But when we lose focus, when decisions are made without enough transparency or without fully considering the long-term impact, that's when trust starts to break down. And once trust is broke, it's hard to rebuild. That's why transparency and communication are not optional to me, it's essential. You deserve to know what decisions are made, why they're being made, and how they affect you. And most important, you deserve to be a part of the process before decisions are finalized. I also want to come back to something that matters to every single person in this room: your household budget. Families are making tough decisions right now. Seniors on fixed income is feeling the pressure, and small increases year after year add up. County government should recognize that reality. It should operate with discipline, with intention, and with a clear understanding that every dollar spent is a dollar earned by someone sitting right here in Mills County. That means asking hard questions. It means evaluating whether something is truly needed, and it means being willing to say no when something doesn't align with our core responsibilities. I'm not running on big promises because I believe this role is about something more important: consistency, accountability, transparency, and doing what's right every single day. Over the past 20 years, I've built my life here. I've worked here, volunteered here, raised kids here, and I've spent a lot of time listening to the people who call this county home. I understand the concerns, the priorities, and the expectations. If you want leadership that listens first, communicates openly, and keeps county government focused on what truly matters, I am that person. If you want someone able to hit the ground running on day one, I am that person. And if you want somebody ready to get to work on making sure your wallets don't shrink even more than they are, I am that person, and I would be honored to have your vote on June 2nd. Thank you for being here and for listening to all of us. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Well, folks, we owe a debt of gratitude to these three people. You asked very hard questions, and some of them are beyond the capability of all of us together. And these folks have volunteered to step forward and to represent you and hopefully do the best job they can. And I thank you for coming to hear them speak, and I thank you for their preparation and for their ideas. And we're going to get a chance to vote and to elect the next one in June to represent us in November. And so these folks deserve our gratitude. Thank you for your round of applause for them, and I would ask for one additional one as we close.